Good morning. These are your BYU-Idaho radio morning headlines for Monday, April 16th, 2025. Thanks for listening. I'm Jill Clary. The Kiwanis Club and the Rexburg Area Chamber of Commerce are organizing an Easter egg hunt this weekend at Porter Park. Rick Excel, one of the leaders of the Kiwanis Club in Rexburg, is also one of the main organizers for the hunt.
There's so much to do in Rexburg, but we like to help to make that a little better, especially around Easter time. And I think more than anything, it's just one more project that helps Rexburg be one of those places that people want to have a family. You know, we're America's family community.
Excel says there will be about 20,000 eggs laid over the site, and there will be 50 bikes donated by various businesses given as prizes. The carousel will be open before and after the event as well. The hunt will have different areas devoted to age groups to make sure everyone gets a fair chance at grabbing some eggs. Setup for the event starts on Friday.
The Friday before, there will be volunteers at noon that are helping to set things up and get things ready. But then 8:30 the morning of is where we help. That's where most of the work happens, spreading out the eggs. And, you know, we get several drums full of Easter eggs that have to be spread out kind of evenly across the fields and things. So we could use some help there.
The event is this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. at Porter Park in Rexburg. For more information, please visit rexburgchamber.org. To listen to our interview with Rick Excel, follow our BYU-Idaho radio podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. A new bill signed by Idaho Governor Brad Little will allow ivermectin to be sold as an over-the-counter medicine without a prescription or consultation with a healthcare professional. According to the Idaho Capitol Sun, on Monday, Governor Little signed Senate Bill 1211, which is an ivermectin deregulation bill. The new law will take effect immediately through an emergency clause. Typically, ivermectin is used to treat parasites in humans, but has drawn interest since the COVID pandemic from mostly conservative activists, doctors, and politicians as an alternative medicine. Normally, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration handles whether drugs should be available over the counter. They have a process that uses data on safety and effectiveness. The FDA has not approved ivermectin to treat or prevent COVID-19. The federal agency finds from existing clinical trial data that ivermectin isn't effective against COVID-19 in humans. The federal regulator's website warns large doses of ivermectin can be dangerous. An overdose can cause a risk of death, and human-appropriate doses can interact with other medications like blood thinners. The bill passed during last week's legislative session without public feedback from doctors, pharmacists, or healthcare professionals. CEO of the Idaho Retailers Association, which represents Idaho pharmacies, Pam Eaton, testified to the Senate committee that without an over-the-counter label that includes information like drug interactions, Idaho pharmacies largely can't sell ivermectin over the counter. Currently, Arkansas and Tennessee passed laws for ivermectin to be sold over the counter. North Carolina is considering a similar bill. Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador has agreed to review the investigative findings of the shooting involving Pocatello police and a 17-year-old boy in Pocatello. The Bannock County prosecutor requested the Attorney General's office take a look at the case. It was on Saturday, April 5th, when a witness called police after seeing a person with a knife threatening people. Officers arrived within minutes and ordered the teen to drop the knife. When he moved toward them, they opened fire. Victor Perez was shot multiple times and went to the hospital where he died a week later after he was taken off life support. The 4 officers involved in the shooting were placed on administrative leave. Perez's family say he was autistic and had cerebral palsy and was not a real threat. Labrador says his office will do a thorough and impartial review once they receive the report from the Eastern Idaho Critical Incident Task Force. These have been your BYU-Idaho radio morning headlines for April 16th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. More news, interviews, and great content are available on our podcast feed. Search for BYU-Idaho Radio on your favorite podcast apps. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and more. You can also ask your smart speakers to play KBYI 94.3 FM. Have a great day. This is BYU-Idaho Radio, and I'm Jill Clary.